everybody to tonight's planning meeting. The meeting is being live streamed. If anybody here wants to record, if you are allowed to do that, but if you could just let us know if you intend to do that. No, thank you. We've got apologies from Councillor Chapman, and Councillor Ottino is substituting tonight. Do we have any declarations of either pecuniary interests or other interests in the applications in front of us? I don't see any, in which case I will hand over to Victoria Ashton, who is going to present the first item. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. The site location is numbers 111 and 113 Wytham Street, located in the south of Oxford to the west of Abingdon Road. I'll briefly take members through the existing photographs of the site and the slides, as they have been circulated prior to this meeting. However, I can refer back to these at any point if helpful, so please do let me know. This is the front elevation of the existing of number 111, and this is the existing rear elevation of number 111. This is the front elevation of number 113 and the existing rear elevation of number 113. This is the side elevation of number 113 taken facing northwest towards the property, and the side elevation of number 113 taken facing south towards the property. This is the existing site layout. Numbers 111 and 113 are within the red boundary line. The blue boundary line in this plan is a road/pathway, which is not owned by either property and would not be part of this application. So it's just to clarify that there's no development proposed within this blue boundary. This is the proposed site layout. The application proposes the demolition of the existing rear extension at number 113 and the erection of a part single, part 2-storey rear and side extension at number 113. The application also proposes the erection of a first floor rear extension at number 111. Alterations to the roof to both numbers 111 and 113 to form hip to gable and the formation of a rear dormer to both properties in association with loft conversions are also proposed. The application also proposes a front porch to number 113, the installation of 2 solar panels to the front elevation of number 111 and 2 solar panels to the front elevation of number 113. Finally, the application also proposes alterations to fenestration and the insertion of roof lights to the front roof slope of both properties. These are the existing elevations of the site, and these are the proposed elevations here. These are the existing ground and first floor plans, and the existing roof plan. These are the proposed plans for the ground floor, and the proposed plans for the first floor. These are the proposed plans for the second floor/loft level, and finally, this is the proposed roof plan. As the application is a joint application, officers have considered the potential impact on neighbouring amenity if one of the properties did not build a proposed development. This is because the 2 dwellings are in different ownerships, and officers consider that the development could be implemented on each property separately, and this would give rise to different amenity impacts. The impact to neighbouring amenity to both properties would be acceptable, and this has been covered in detail in the officer report. As a result, a legal agreement was not considered necessary, as the report clearly sets out that each of the extensions would be acceptable in isolation of the other. Officers also wish to clarify condition 4, which is recommended as part of this permission, in the instance that the extension at number 113 is demolished and not rebuilt. This would raise a concern in design terms for the party wall between the 2 existing rear single-storey extensions. And in the instance that the wall is left visible, officers have requested further information to be provided regarding the finish of this wall via condition to ensure high quality design. And just to clarify that this condition wouldn't need to be discharged if the flank wall was not left exposed. As members will be aware, item 4 of the agenda relates to another application at number 113 for a proposed outbuilding. Officers wish to clarify that the outbuilding application included land contamination as a material consideration due to the rear garden being located on a former landfill site, which is where the outbuilding would be located. This is explained in full detail in the officer report for this application. This application for numbers 111 and 113 did not raise any land contamination issues, as the area of development did not fall within the area of the previous landfill site in the rear garden. This has been confirmed with the council's land contamination officer. However, officers wish to provide a verbal update for clarity, as this is not within the published officer's report. To conclude, the application is deemed acceptable in regard to design, impact on neighbouring amenity, flooding and ecology, and is therefore recommended for approval, subject to the conditions which are outlined in the officer's report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions at this stage? Can I ask, with the first diagram you showed, which had obviously got the red zone, who has access and right of way over the blue area, just out of interest?
Sorry, I believe it's this property on the corner here, which is number 348 Abingdon Road there.
Okay, so nobody at 113 has access.
Yeah, so it's not in the ownership of number 111 or number 113. It was just included for clarity, just to show where that is on the plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? David?
Update from me, please, Chair. Is there an update on the party wall? Is that any further on?
Is that what you're referring to in paragraph 10.6?
So the party wall agreement would be considered a civil matter rather than a planning matter, so it's not been covered within the officer's published report.
One very minor question rather. I notice on page 14 of the presentation that one of the side elevations, and I'm not quite sure which is which on here, is shown as all the side windows on the side elevation. All the side windows have frosted glass. The other one, only 2 of the 3 windows have frosted glass. I just wondered whether there's anything of an issue, potential issue there to do with overlooking.
Yeah, I think this has been covered within the published report, and I think that window that you're referring to at the second floor level serves a stairway, which wouldn't be considered a habitable room. Therefore, it's not given rise to any neighbouring immunity impacts in that sense. Thank you.
For clarity, it's that on the bottom drawing, it's the one, the bottom, the highest window, yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Alex?
Yeah, just for clarification again, what would be the degree to which this application would be permitted under permitted development rights, which would cover a very substantial part of it, I imagine?
As I understand it, there are certain sections of the development which independently could be carried out under PD, but because this scheme is not being carried out in individual bits, the applications for the development as a whole, and so the PD rights can't be or aren't relevant as a fallback position, because that's the advice I've given. Because you.
Yeah, no, I know that. It was more the difference between what was going to be permissible under those rights had it been pursued under that. So it was the volume.
I'll let the planning officers answer that then.
So I think that the hip to gable enlargement and the box dormers wouldn't require planning permission. They could be carried out as PD. As you're aware, but the issue is the volume. Because we haven't carried out a volume calculation, we wouldn't know. But the only thing I would say is that probably if they carried out the hip to gables and the box dormers without doing the extensions, then finished them and then did the extensions, I would have thought all of the loft conversion works wouldn't require planning permission, as long as the materials were similar to the existing and met all the other conditions.
Thanks, Rob. Other questions? No, in which case, comments? Alex?
Well, obviously it's here for a very particular reason, not because of its relating to its planning merits. It seems an entirely uncontentious application. It's one which would nearly, but not quite, be permitted under permitted development rights. I therefore move approval with the conditions as listed in the report.
Do we have a seconder for that? Oh, Forest and Hands. Barbara, yeah, okay. Okay, so we have a proposal on the table to approve this in accordance with the officer's recommendation. Can I see all those in favour? That's unanimous. Okay, so that is passed, and now move on to agenda item 4, which is again on the same part of the same side.
Thank you, Chair. The site location is number 113 Wytham Street, located in South Oxford, to the west of Abingdon Road. Again, I'll briefly take members through the existing photographs of the site as they have been circulated prior to this meeting. And again, I'm happy to go back to these at any point if that will be helpful. This is the existing front elevation of the property. And this is the existing rear elevation of the property. This is the rear garden of the property facing north. Planning permission is sought for the erection of a single-storey outbuilding, which would be located at the end of this garden. This is the existing shed in the rear garden, taken facing west. This is the existing site plan. And this is the proposed site plan. The red dashed area at the end of the rear garden is the location for the proposed outbuilding. These are the proposed elevations for the outbuilding. The outbuilding will be finished in brick under a pitched roof with the addition of 8 solar panels to the southern roof slope of the outbuilding, as can be seen on the presentation. The outbuilding would have a depth of 4.1 metres, a width of 7.3 metres, and will be finished under a pitched roof with an eaves height of 2.8 metres and a maximum height of 4.3 metres. 2 doors and 2 number windows are proposed to the front elevation of the outbuilding. These are the proposed floor plans for the outbuilding, which would be used as a study and/or gym, and would also be used for additional storage. The application is deemed acceptable in regard to design, neighbouring amenity, flooding and land contamination, and is therefore recommended for approval, subject to conditions which are outlined in the officer's report. Thank you.
Thank you. And any comments? No, sorry, any questions first of all? Louise?
Thank you. Can we condition that it doesn't have plumbing in it so that it can't ever be used as a sort of a subservient dwelling? Did I say plumbing? I meant plumbing, yeah. So it could be used as a subservient dwelling.
There is a condition recommended, condition 4, which is for the amenities, the incidental use. So it means that no cooking facilities can be installed within the outbuilding. Whether we're able to amend that to include the plumbing as well.
But no.
Just coming out, I think that we would the condition that we've recommended precludes cooking facilities specifically because very often sometimes these buildings do have plumbing in them. People want toilets in gyms or home offices, and those are considered to be acceptable uses for an equivalent building that could be built without planning permission. So I personally think it would be unreasonable for us to impose a condition that precluded the installation of plumbing, but definitely cooking facilities is arguably a safe bet.
So, no, it's unrelated. So
condition 4, shall not be used for primary living accommodation. What does the word primary mean there?
So the term primary living accommodation is referring to what we would consider to be an ancillary use. So any way that you're using your house or any extension of your house is primary living accommodation. So bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens, living rooms. What we're expecting in this case, which the condition also mentions, is an incidental use. So a subordinate use that isn't considered to be a main primary living accommodation. So it can't be used as a bedroom, and it can't be used as, can't contain a kitchen. And this prevents it from creeping into being a separate self-contained dwelling without planning permission, or being rented out for like an Airbnb or something like that.
Has a specific meaning that primary living accommodation cannot be carried out in this building. Okay.
Presumably, if you had a lot of people stay for an occasional family parties, putting someone on a blow-up mattress in there would probably be okay. That kind of, but if there's a sort of incidental thing, but not that that would be picked up by enforcement anyway, I imagine, that sort of thing, kind of casual thing presumably is okay.
I'd have thought, yeah, casual, occasional. It would be difficult to to be able to enforce that in any case.
Yeah.
Just to clarify that would not be in accordance with the use that you're permitting, but the issue is it wouldn't be expedient to enforce against an occasional use like that. So it's not within the scope of the permission, but it's not something the council is likely to enforce against in the circumstances that you've described.
Any other, oh yeah.
Just a quick one about the solar panels. Great to see the extra solar panels on there. Will those be sort of integrated with the ones on the main house so that the electricity generated on the outbuilding can be used in the main house?
I don't think we
Curiosity,
know.
really.
I don't think we know. We could ask the applicant if that's something they're doing, whether or not they're incorporating battery storage or anything like that.
No.
Any other questions? Comments? No? Oh, Alex.
Well, in the absence of anyone else, it is an entirely uncontentious application that's only here because it's the of the applicant, not because of the planning matters that are that it contains, and therefore I'd like to recommend approval with the conditions as set out in the report, please.
Have a seconder? Oh, Lawrence have, off the mark. Okay, yes. In which case we have a proposal which is seconded to approve according to the officer's recommendations. All those in favour? And I think that's unanimous. Thank you. So in which case we now move on to the minutes, last meeting. On page 49. Any comments, amendments? 50. Page 51. Page 52. Page 53. Page 54. And then at the beginning of the agenda, you'll see a list of forthcoming applications and the dates of future meetings. Thank you very much, everybody. Okay.